Here comes a new challenger!
Hello there everyone, and welcome to a brand new video. Last time I did a top 3 characters in Ultimate that really need some fixes, or I guess you can consider them buffs. In this video we're going to be doing a similar thing. 3 gimmicks that you can actually get away with doing in an actual match, or that you might not have known you could have gotten away with. Let's get started here with, of course, Byleth. Now, as many of you may know, Byleth's upbeat, very funny move. I talked about Byleth in the last video. But anyways, in this move, you could, at 0, essentially combo off of it. However, this isn't really the case, because if you know the correct DI, then no matter whether or not you do a double jump to side B, or anything else to try to catch any sort of DI, you know, whether it's DI away or whatever, you're gonna miss. However, usually most people are only smart enough to do that when in the middle of the stage. However, here we go. When playing against an opponent, did you know that most people are more willing to DI in than out, especially when near the edge? Did you know that was a thing? I know it's a thing. It's psychological warfare, except not really. And so Byleth here has the ability to basically make your opponent afraid at ledge. What do I mean by this? Well, as many of you may not know, because I don't know how many of you play this character, you can snap to the wall. However, as I showed earlier, you can snap to other people. At ledge, you would think that the only thing you can do is snap to the wall, but that's not true. If you press back and up B, you could do something like that. Now you may ask yourself, well, Sab, if people have, you know, knowledge of which way to DI, that wouldn't work, would it? In most cases, it wouldn't, it shouldn't. However, because most people are afraid of, well, being outside of the stage most of the time, they are more likely to get hit with this setup than you might believe. You don't even need to be that close or at the ledge to do this. You could be literally right here and try to get away with doing a gimmick. And hey, if it hits, you're either getting a spike or you're getting some massive damage off of it. That's really good, isn't it? I think it is. But that's, you know, it is what it is. That is a fun little gimmick you could do with Byleth. I've cheesed several people out of their last stocks through it. It's so easy and it works so well that usually, if you're smart about it, your opponent will likely DI away. And if they do, you can hit them with tipper back here. And at ledge, that's kind of scary to get hit by also. And if they're at higher percent, well, then it is what it is. But however, there's one little thing I should mention too, is that at higher percents, obviously, your opponent doesn't really bounce away. They go, well, they get spiked up. However, on stages like Battlefield or Yoshi's, you could do something like this. Especially on the highest, you know, tri-plats, where Byleth is really going to be super low to the plat, you can just air dodge down, read their air dodge, or whatever they do, and punish with your incredibly good up smash. Especially since, well, I'm just saying, this thing is a massive disjoint, and if you catch someone, they're basically gonna lose a stock. It's actually a really good way of catching your opponent, and so if you're a Byleth player or ever considered playing Byleth, or just play the character for fun, I hope that that has taught you some things you could do with this character. However, we're not done. Not with Byleth though, but with Steve. Yes, that's right, Steve. Everyone's favorite character. So, did you know that when you mine, you get materials? Glorious, isn't it? But did you also know that you can build weapons? But did you also know that the weapons, or crafting a weapon, has different time? Or whatever to build it? Man, my words are bad today. My grammar sucks. But basically what I'm trying to say is, from the type of quality of whatever material you're using, it takes longer to obtain it. You might not have noticed that, but it is the case. For instance, let's get some stone here. That's pretty fast. Now let's try getting some diamond. Diamond. Where's the diamond? There's the diamond. And it takes a little bit longer. You know, not that much longer, but a little bit longer to get diamond. So what is the point of all this? Why am I bringing this up for? Well, one thing that Steve mains will likely do is that if they get diamond and they're at high percents, they are more likely to use their invincibility to try and obtain that diamond weapon, well, right off the bat. And there's not much you can do about it because they're invincible. You can't grab them or hit them or anything like that. But there's one thing you can do. And allow me to show you what I mean. So we're gonna have our little crafting table here. Let's get some iron, it'll be much faster. And let's get our diamond. We're gonna have Byleth here, near the crafting table. Now, if you played against me, as a Steve main, you know I've done this to you several times over. So watch this. Oh man, I have my diamond. I'm gonna abuse my invincibility to get my failure. Alright? Same scenario. So crafting table and during my invincibility, I would be getting diamond. However, you just push Steve away. Pretty funny, isn't it? And even if they're invincible, this will work. If you didn't know that. Allow me to show you what I mean. Even when they're invincible, you can still push your opponent away. This is something that was added into Ultimate where you just can't go through your opponent for whatever reason. I kinda don't like this. However, in Steve's case, you can essentially just cheese Steve of not getting diamond. And if you play against me, you know I do this to you all the time. And I get away with it all the time. Why is that? Why does this happen? Who knows? You know, you'd think that once he starts crafting, he would have access to it, but he just doesn't. It's kind of funny, and yet sad at the same time. Essentially, I kind of force Steve's to just sit there and try to F-smash me or hit me, and when they try hitting me while I'm shielding, and I punish them, and whatever the case may be. And if they try grabbing me, well, you know, I tried getting out of the way of that too. I tried reading that. Essentially, if Steve's trying to abuse their invincibility to get their diamond, yeah, they're not getting it. Especially against me, and against other characters with much faster initial dashes and other such things. Steve essentially will have a hard time getting diamond, especially against characters with pretty big disjoints like Byleth here, who can basically abuse his lack of range, and thus making it harder for Steve to really get what he wants. Not only that, but if you might have not noticed, or may have noticed, when you break the crafting table, what will happen is that the crafting table, it uses up whatever materials you have outside of dirt and stone. So mainly wood, iron, right? If you break the crafting table constantly, you might find that Steve can't really spawn it in anymore. And considering that Steve mains probably want to mine, get their diamond, pushing them away from the ability to even gain their diamond weaponry, because diamond is horrifying to deal with, it really annoys some players. I've done it to multiple people, and you'd be surprised how many games I won because of that. Because I just simply pushed Steve away. I hope that if you ever fight against a Steve main, and that situation ever comes up, that you just pull some hilarity and just literally shove them away from getting whatever they want. And it works for other tools, it's just much easier with diamond because it takes much longer for it to, happen. Know what I mean? And finally, the greatest gimmick of all. This is one of my few Shoto secrets that other Shoto mains know, but they won't really tell you about it. But it's so fun abusing it! You'd have no idea. So, did you know that regular Shoryuken and true Shoryuken have different frame data? True Shoryuken not only comes out on the same frame and all that, but it has less lag than normal Shoryuken. Watch. I'm holding shield. That was normal Shoryuken. And that was true Shoryuken. Now with Ryu, he has a bit more lag than Ken. So the gimmick that I'm about to mention here, it does work for Ryu, but not as great. But you can get away with it all the same. So, here we go. Allow me to present you what true neutral is. People say Ken has no neutral, but I disagree. Allow me to present to you true neutral by turning on invincibility display and me sucking at inputs. Alright. Now you may be asking yourself, wow, Sab, that looks really lame, and it is. If you play Ryu or Ken, like I said, it's better with Ken because he has less lag than Ryu. You can essentially just make this your neutral. This entire thing, and then if your opponent tries to punish, boom, roundhouse, which also has invulnerability on the leg. You know, or you could go for some dumb gimmicks. You know what I mean? You could literally just throw out the same move over and over again, and because moves don't stale when they miss, you have no real harm at throwing this out. If you do light Shoryuken constantly, it's really hard for your opponent to punish it. And if they try to punish it, Ken punishes you for trying to punish him. It's hilarious. I love this. My character cheats all the time. And I wanted to share this with you all. Now, like I said, Ryu can do it, just not as effective. Alright, because at most you can get away with at least doing the light one into doing the heavy one. I was about to say EX. I've been playing too much fighters recently. So that's a fun little gimmick for you guys. And for those who wonder, let's have the true Shoryuken input's kind of hard for me, because for those who don't know, it's forward, down, and then down angled forward. You know, a Z motion. However, there are shortcuts to Shoryuken that you might not have known. For instance, double diagonal. If I could show my inputs, it does. It is a Shoryuken shortcut. So double diagonal does work if you know, like I mentioned in any of these cases, if you play any of these characters or play against these characters regularly, those are fun little gimmicks you could do against them, or, you know, be prepared for when they ever happen. So whenever you see a Ken literally just mashing their face on the stick, then hey, at least now you know when to be afraid and when not to be. Because how are you supposed to punish them? Alright, that all being said, I really hope you enjoyed this. This was just a fun little video showing you some stuff that you might not have known you could do. And if you enjoyed, please let me know in the comments below. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, because I know we can. And, well, as I always say, be safe. Take care of yourself. See you guys in the next video. Peace.
Coming through, partner, we can do this right. You're the fire.